All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Bourbon Basement. I'm Ryan,
And I'm Steve.
and I'm just gonna put this out there, guys. This video or this episode could either go extremely well, like one of the best ones ever, or it could be an absolute catastrophe. So lots been going on here in the Bourbon Basement. New camera. We have fixed the waviness that we had noticed that was going on, so the camera quality should be better. We've changed the lighting setup. We've got two new microphones instead of having the one joint one here in the middle. So it could either be the best episode yet, or it could be an absolute disaster.
Sure, we're going to have technical difficulties.
And we had been okay with them here as of late, except for apparently the one show that you did by yourself. Uh, we had some volume complaints, but it had been going decently well, and now we may or may not have either fixed or ruined that. Uh,
And with our luck, it's
it's
probably ruined.
probably we're probably bombing right now. We're probably not live. We probably don't have no audio. We probably don't have any of it. Uh, but we're really gonna keep our fingers crossed that everything has been set up. We've done some experimenting throughout this past week to start preparing for this.
Get a bit of
It's
experiment.
been an ongoing
And
process.
without it being posted to where you can watch it on TV and watch it on your phone,
We only have our laptop to go off
you
of,
don't
so
know what kind of quality we're going to
and these new microphones that we have, there's a whole control module and stuff for it that even I'm still trying to figure out. So it's a work in progress still. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best here. Corey, appreciate you tuning in. Looks good, sounds good. Happy Friday.
get.
Happy
All right.
Friday to you as
Thanks,
well.
Corey.
So thank you for the feedback. Glad to know that we actually are live and they can hear us currently, and we've not been talking to oblivion.
That's right.
All right, so what are we going to be doing on
We're
this
going to
Friday
talk
evening?
about some James E. Pepper today. So if you all have some James E. Pepper,
Sounds good.
uh,
Looks good. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you all as well. Appreciate you tuning in.
welcome
Oh,
back.
yes,
Yeah,
welcome back.
welcome back.
Hopefully, your all's adventure was fun.
That's it. Fun. We
Fun.
hope it was fun.
I hope it was enjoyable. I, I, I
We're glad you're
hope it
home.
was fun.
Glad you're home.
Yeah.
Well, if you got any James E. Pepper or Old Pepper, or they also produce 1776, James Pepper 1776, you can pour a glass of that. And you'll be kind of right on the same page that we're on. Or you can just grab any of your favorite bourbons that you want to drink and just sit back and enjoy the show with us. Have some fun. We're going to be your drinking buddies tonight, just like we always want to be. Uh, but do you want to dive right into some history?
That's your
What do you think
domain.
about James E. Pepper? I mean, what do you think? Where's this distillery? Do you know
I think you just said it a few minutes ago, and I don't
where?
remember.
Well, it's in Lexington,
There
Kentucky.
you go.
All right. So, what do you think? Do you think this is a historic distillery? Do you think it's fairly new, or what do you got? What do you got?
I mean, I'm sure that it's probably historic.
It's very historic, and I didn't know that. So I'm I was a
Lexington's an
little
old city.
I was a little surprised about the history that goes into this. Um, so when I started looking it up, there's a lot of history about the Pepper family and the distilleries that they did. Um, and so I'm going to keep that down, make it kind of short and brief.
I got a question,
All right.
and this is another thing that could end up in disaster. Going back to the new camera setup and everything, I might have accidentally just triggered
You
something on
did. You
accident.
did.
Okay. Well, we have different functionalities with this new camera. Uh, and we're still really
You
experimenting
better
with that.
maybe less hand
Yeah, we're
gestures.
still really
Oh,
this is
me?
this is a motion activated camera. So what that means is we don't have a remote control or anything to zoom in or out, but we can use hand gestures to do so. And I'm kind of tempted to zoom in so
No,
you
don't
all
zoom in.
can see the bottles a little better and then
It's
zoom back
too
out.
hard to zoom out.
We'd not be able to get it back to normal.
We can zoom it in and get it right on our nose, but we cannot zoom it out that
And
well
there's
right now.
also a motion following what do you call it? Functionality of the camera where if we put our hand up, whoever puts their hand up like flat, it will follow around, like it will track our movements. We're gonna use that eventually, but I think that we'll leave it.
We gotta experiment some more, right?
I mean, it can go almost 180 degrees, so eventually that'll be kind of cool and fun, so you can see actually what's going on behind the camera sometimes, just some behind the
Just
scenes stuff.
stick with
But
it. And if you see the camera zoom in
I
on
guess for now we'll just do something like
a
this,
light
and
bulb on the ceiling, then you know that we've messed something
we've done
up.
something horribly wrong.
And it may take a little bit of funniness and craziness to get back on track.
there and let the bourbon flow, gentlemen. That's the
That's
plan.
what I'm
We're
on.
getting there. We'll get hold your horses. Let's get some history first. Good lord.
All right. So the Pepper family, they go all the way back to distilling some. What we
Brian's
got?
gonna look like an NFL play caller in the coming episodes. Probably will. We'll end up experimenting with the Zoom and stuff, and we'll be zoomed in on our face the whole episode without being able to get it back.
And then just have to go with
Here we had to
it.
go
Just
with
have
it.
to go with it.
All right.
Uh,
Anyway,
they go back to the American Revolution, and they were creating bourbon back then or whiskey back then, and they did it all the way. Their family did it all the way until 1967. So they started off in Virginia. They moved to Versailles, and they settled down there at Glens Creek. Right? They built a distillery there. You know what distillery that is today? Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. But they built a distillery at Glens Creek. Everything was going well, right? They hired a guy by the name of Sir James Crow. He was a Scottish immigrant. Come in, and what he did, so sour mash is kind of a new thing back then. He did not invent sour mash, guys, but you all know sour mash is backsetting, a little bit of backsetting to the next batch to help ferment.
we're in the 60s right now. Is that
You're
what you
you're
said?
in the 18 daggone hundred.
Oh, okay. Wow. Anyway,
This is this is like 1812. So they settle at Glens Creek and start building the distillery in 1812 on the Glens Creek there in Versailles. They hire Dr. Crow. He's a Scottish immigrant. He comes in. Uh, the sour mash thing, where you take the back set and put in the new one, it helps fermentation, keeps batches consistent to get more of the same taste. He was not known for inventing that, but he perfected that. And then the Old Crow brand was born. And I got a bottle of Old Crow. This is a modern bottle of Old Crow. I don't know what the old one was like,
if you got
but
one, we'll take a donation. You can send it to us.
this is this is the Old Crow. So the label's still going on today, and it's got Dr. James Crow's name on it. Now, so after that, they were very popular around the world, really. And it wasn't until the James P. Pepper gets a hold of the distillery in 1865. His dad passed and left the distillery to him, but there was an issue. He was only like 15 years old. All right. So he's 15 years old in 1865. The family doesn't want him to run the distillery. Well, how like most teenagers are, he thinks he can do it anyway. So he actually gets with Colonel E.H. Taylor, who is like a guardian of them. And everybody knows who Colonel E.H. Taylor is, right?
You ought to.
And he was running a distillery, the old Fire Copper Distillery at the time, right? And he takes this young teenager under his wing and they sue the family, the Pepper family, for him to get the distillery and run this distillery. And they won. So James E. Pepper takes over at 15. Colonel E.H. Taylor's helping him. And in 1967, so now he's 17 years old, thinks he knows everything about it. He's looking to expand the distillery. 1867.
I thought you said 19, but there again,
I probably anyway, he's looking to expand the distillery, so he goes for financing. But who's going to give any financing to a 17-year-old? Not many daggone people. So guess who gives him financing? E.H. Taylor. And guess what happens? Now, if you all went back and you watched our E.H. Taylor episode where we did the small batch, we talked about Colonel E.H. Taylor. We talked about some financial issues that he may have had. It's a good episode. Go back and watch that. Uh, well,
if you
those
dare.
well, he was doing a lot of work at the Old Fire Copper Distillery at the time, and he's financed this young man for the Creek Distillery. Well, money's going out
Every
everywhere,
which way.
and not as much is coming in. So the James E. Pepper cannot pay the loan to E.H. Taylor. So basically, E.H. Taylor repossesses Glens Creek Distillery and sells it. All right.
He came
Well,
out ahead, surely, though.
but later he ended up losing OFC to George T. Stack. So,
Spoiler alert! Whoa!
yeah, well, go back and watch the episode. So we know his financial woes to Colonel E.H. Taylor, but then that led him to build Castle and Key. Man, how the webs are tangled and weaving in the bourbon industry. They just go all over the place, right?
I'm lost.
Exactly. So go back and watch the episodes. They're a little bit better. So anyway, he loses the distillery. He loses his family's distillery that they built in 1812, uh, Glens Creek. That eventually becomes what we know as today Woodford Reserve. Woo-hoo. That's that distillery there. So all those historic buildings and stuff, James E. Pepper had a part in all that. His family did anyway. So that was kind of cool history because on our computer.
No, we look fine over here. Give me
Uh-oh.
just a second. We're gonna double check some things.
Can you hear us?
Um,
When did we
it
freeze?
says stream has disconnected. Okay, don't know what that was. I don't think that that has anything to do with the new stuff that we presented. I think that's a connectivity issue of some sort. But I think we're back now. I think we're good. We're
You
still
think we're
live.
back? Okay, sorry about that. I knew some technical difficulty would happen.
I don't think that has anything to do with what we've done, though. I think
That's
that
our
was a fluke.
that's our old stuff.
I
Our
think that was a
That's still
fluke.
our old Wi-Fi. Okay, so I don't know where it cut off at, guys. I'm sorry. No, but we're jumping in. We're going all the way to 1879
Looks like we're back. All right. So
now.
other
All right.
people are experiencing the same thing. Okay, we're good.
So we're going all the way back to 1879. 1879, James E. Pepper, he gathers some money back up. He has enough. He actually goes to Lexington and he purchases Henry Clay Distillery, which is where, and he changes the name to Old Pepper Distillery, and that's where Old Pepper is actually today. Same spot, same everything. It was called the Henry Clay Distillery then. Cool thing about it, it was DSP Kentucky 5 was their number, and DSP Kentucky 5 is still what they have on their label today. So, cool
Mentioning it
things.
off too.
A cool thing about James E. Pepper. So we think he's a young, know-it-all kid. He got in hard times. He lost everything that his family had done, but he came back, and he came back in a big way. I think he learned his lesson, got that second chance, and now he's making something with this Old Pepper Distillery, right?
So
Uh,
uh he was like 22 there.
in '65, he was 15, so this was
Oh,
'79.
so Matt, quick, hurry.
14 years, 29 years old.
There you go. So
All right.
he was a little older now.
All right. So he's learned his lesson. He got some money. He bought another distillery, fixed it up. They start producing some bourbon. All right.
You know,
Well,
good for him though for sticking with it, because most people after they go through a situation like that, they'll just be like, "All right, this ain't the field for me."
he may be, and I don't know the story between him and Colonel E.H. Taylor because he went through it too, and maybe they stuck together. Even through the hard financial stuff. I don't
There
know.
shouldn't have been any hard feelings because E.H. Taylor, I think, probably came out ahead in that whole ordeal.
That's the E.H. Taylor episode. That's what y'all need to go back and watch. So, cool thing about James E. Pepper and what he did for the bourbon industry. We know that we talked about rectifiers and we talked about counterfeiters and everything else. Well, he was producing bourbon, and at that time, you could only sell a distillery could only sell bourbon by the barrel, right? So they couldn't bottle. So he kept pushing for Kentucky law to be changed to where a distillery could bottle their own bourbon and then sell it by the bottle instead of selling it by the barrel. And the Kentucky law was changed in 1890, uh, big part due to James E. Pepper, because he actually came up with this little security strip for authenticity that can't be counterfeited. Because once that strip is cut, that bottle's
It's
been
got
opened.
oh,
So they couldn't use the same bottle to bottle their bourbon.
think about the extra profit that they're getting off that too. You can't proof down a barrel,
Can't proof down a barrel.
so you're selling it wholesale basically. That whole exaggeration of a barrel. See, you bottle it, you can proof it down, you can get more out of a barrel. Kind of wish that law had never been changed because we'd have gotten an unlimited barrel
There would have
proofs.
been a barrel proof bourbon in the bourbon basement.
There's a
It's
complete barrel proofs.
think sideways is good. It's when you face the camera with your hand that the gesture is bad. All right. So anyway, we'll learn that in a minute. So he did that was his kind of legacy to the bourbon industry, right? Well, that was in 1890. By 1906, he passed and he died in a very strange way. He fell and slipped on ice and then died of complications to that. So I don't know if he busted his head or whatever, but that was in 1906. And evidently, so what I read then, his wife was a very successful. She had a lot of money. There was a lot of stuff going on there, and there's a lot into that
Oh,
with
that's where he
horses.
got his
Well,
money
there's
from.
horses, and there's all this other stuff that's involved in that. so I didn't dive deep in that history. Although, if you're interested in some Kentucky history, it's a good read. Uh, but anyway, I'm assuming she sold everything that had to do with horses and the distillery and bourbon and everything after her husband. But I'm assuming she sold it to family because that was in 1906. And everything that I read says that the Pepper family is until 1967 when they actually shut down the old Pepper. Before that, in 1933, there was a fire, destroyed the distillery. They built it back in 1934, still distilled product until 1967 when they shut the doors and abandoned it. They abandoned the brand. Everything got abandoned. All right. Now, here's the interesting thing. And I
Are
think,
you still with us?
are you still with us? Because this is what I found. So, Amir, I think it's Amir. It's Amirpay. That's his name. I'm pronouncing it Amir Pay. So this is around 2008. He is a freelance writer, and he writes a lot about boxing. And he's really into boxing. He graduated college. He couldn't get a job in his field. I think it was psychology or something. I don't know. He ends up being a bartender and a freelance writer. So he's reading a lot about boxing, boxing, boxing. And he goes back to an early 1900 or maybe even an 1800 boxing match, right? And he sees a sign for Old Pepper, or Old Pepper whiskey, and it got him curious. So he starts doing a deep dive into this. I don't know why this banner stuck out to him. Don't know why he did a deep dive, but he did a deep dive and found out everything he could about this. And then he ended up finding brand was abandoned, and he purchased the rights to that brand, and he purchased distillery in Lexington, Kentucky, and he was going to bring us back. So immediately he starts sourcing bourbons through MPG. Yeah,
How much money was he
MPG.
making as a bartender?
Well, evidently pretty good. He starts sourcing the bourbon through MPG and Bardstown, and he starts bottling it as Old Pepper bourbon and starts getting it out on the market. The whole time he's building his distillery up where he can distill his own product. So in 2017, they actually barreled their first bourbon and started storing it to produce their own stuff. So today we are getting some of their bourbon, although I read that he still sources it and blends it with his bourbon to make his product. So that's the history.
I'd love to know where he got his money at
Well,
because
that's the
he's
history that
buying
we
a
have
distillery, buying the brand,
on
and then
these.
buying barrels sourced from other places, which are outrageous. I don't know where he's getting
But
his
you're
bread from.
selling the product, so you're getting money back. And I'm sure there was investors or, bank loans. I'm sure he didn't just go out and do it. He built the distillery. Have you seen the distillery? Have you been there yet in Lexington? But you've been to the distillery district.
I've been there. Yeah, I know where it is.
Yeah, so
Right there on
you've
the
been there.
corner of is that what street is that?
I don't know, but when he did that, it like re-energized that whole area of town. It's like a happening place now because he redid that distillery. I mean, there's Goodfellas Pizza. There's a couple other restaurants.
Yeah,
There's bunches of bars.
Manchester. I don't know why
Manchester
I couldn't
Street,
think of the
big
street name.
old tobacco warehouses and stuff that have been redone and made into shopping centers and stuff
A
like
few
that.
little bars down in there. It's
It's
a
a
crazy
cool
spot.
area. If you're in the Lexington area, look for that. Go
And
down
you
there
got
and
the
see it.
Burl right across the street.
I will tell you the mistake that I made today. Okay. I got the Old Pepper bottled in bomb bottle. Uh, right here it says distilled and bottled at the historic Pepper Distillery in Lexington, Kentucky. All right. This one here is the cast strength James E. Pepper Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Now, this one is 106.4 proof. It is the barrel proof. In the back of it, it just says bottled at Old Pepper Distillery. So, educated, like I am. James E. Pepper
That
Kentucky Straight Bourbon.
well, let's
They,
not push it.
they source from Bardstown in MGP. All right. Well, it's Kentucky Straight, so this had to come from Bardstown.
That's barrel proof.
This had to be distilled at Bardstown, and bottled at Old Pepper. Guess what this one doesn't say? It says all that stuff about being distilled and bottled in the historic Old Pepper distillery, but it does not say Kentucky straight bourbon. It just says straight bourbon whiskey. Straight bourbon whiskey.
It's a
That's all it says.
misprint.
No, so I'm thinking what they did was they distilled their product and they blended it with MPG product they still source, and that's why they can't put Kentucky straight. So this is something they make. This is something we're not trying in the bourbon basement. So
It's the gray area.
why are we like? Are we still good?
I'm watching
Okay.
everything.
So what we're gonna try tonight is the James E. Pepper cast strength, which I know you don't like to start out with that. You want to start out with the lower stuff,
This is only 106 proof.
but I can't guarantee this is. Yeah, can't guarantee that's Kentucky strength.
106 proof on a cash strength.
That's what it is.
That's low.
Well, I mean, it may go in the barrel at the lowest proof. I don't know how they do this, but don't judge it until we drink
No,
it.
I'm just saying. When you say barrel proof, I'm thinking like 115,
I told
120.
you all that the James E. Pepper Distillery they make the old pepper. This is about a $50 bottle. All right. This is only a $53 bottle. The cast strength. This is 100 proof. This is 106. I'm not sure all the cast strengths are 106. I'm sure they change. Uh, Also, the 1776, it's called James E. Pepper 1776. I could have swore I had a bottle. Couldn't find it. Uh, so I need to get one of those. They're only about a $30 bottle. I'm not sure the proofage on it. So they have
Dandy.
some affordable bourbon in there. I hope this is good. You're the cork popper, right? Maybe put it up. Maybe we can get a sound of it. Put
I
it down.
doubt it.
Roll it down. Let me see if we can get a sound.
I doubt it because you know that if we laugh, it still cuts it off.
It does, but this is different
I
from the last.
You
We
might
may
have
have got
got
a
it.
little
You
pop.
might have
We
got it.
may have got a little cork pop on it. So with the mic
The
change,
cork pops may be back.
maybe with the mic change, guys, we're trying to. I've been watching some
Experiment.
of our videos and I laugh, and it looks like I'm just opening my mouth and looking
And I
crazy and
told him
nothing coming out.
that it was good that it was like that because it would blow your all's ears off
And
because
I
it cuts
said,
things out when they're too loud.
let them hear it.
It cuts things out when it's
This
too
is
loud, and that's why
a pretty bottle of bourbon, uh, and the producer loves the cork,
we got a fat cork on
and she's gonna try this with us.
it. If you all have not already, guys, I'm sure you have been 23 minutes into the episode already. But if you haven't already, get yourself a glass of your favorite one. If you got some James E. Pepper, pour yourself up one. Start the weekend off right. I think the rain's holding off a little bit this weekend, so it should be a nice one.
It's been a pretty nice weekend. Yeah. Well, we got
It's
nice
very,
aromas there.
it's very sweet. I like it.
I'm not getting a lot of alcohol whiff in my nose at
It's mellow.
106 proof. It's very mellow. I get some citrusy kind of smells, and of course some caramel vanilla. Don't get a lot of wood smell in there. So no oak and no smoke, no char, nothing like
That
that.
it's there for me a little bit. It just not. It's not extremely on the. I don't know the word that I'm looking for to describe it, but
Really,
I don't. I told you it took a turn. It went from like fruity and sweet to I guess that's more of an icing sweet.
you know what I forgot to research. So guys, I usually try to give you the mash when it's available. The mash is available on this, and the reason I know that is because uh, Amir, when he purchased this and he got the trademark and he got the brand, he got like when they rebuilt from 1934 the fire, he got like plans, all that, how they did the copper steel, how they distilled all their product. He got all that. So he is excited because the stuff he distills is just exactly like they did in 1934. Now, he uses local grains. It's not the same grains because they're different from 1934, but he uses same grains, local grains, the same process, and he tells the mash, and I forgot. So if somebody has a chance and wants to comment on the mash, go ahead.
Join some Four Roses this evening. Barrel strength single barrel pick given to me by some great friends. Cheers. Cheers to you as well, sir.
It's a
Sounds like
nice,
it's
it's a
a good
nice
bottle.
bottle.
We had two uh, select pick single barrels. I think that we both enjoyed really well, like both of the bottles that we had. Uh, this has almost no acclimation needed. It's very on the smooth side. I've only taken one acclimation, but it goes down very smooth. Uh, you're not supposed to be tasting it, producer.
You can taste it anytime you want to, producer. You're not up here doing this, right? You can taste it anytime. It's okay.
Also, I would advise keeping the voice down unless you actually want to be heard because these will pick it up. It doesn't have the condenser on it. So, putting that out there. You wanted your uh, identity to remain.
I hope they don't see
I
the
cannot think of
fingerprints on my glass.
words. Anonymous. There you go. I'm blank.
The whiskey tears on this are super nice. I did
Do
enjoy
we know
the
how long
color.
this is aged?
Yes. All right. So this particular one is aged 5 to 5.5 years. Um, this one here, of course, being bottled in bond, is at least 4 years. Is all they say. So it's just at least 4 years. And the 1776 that they produced is aged 3 to 4 years, and that's all I know. But they
They're
age this one the
consistent.
longest at 5.5. Now they do have special single barrel brands and special ones that are like 10 and 11 years age. I have not seen those, so they must be very
Sought after and hard to find.
well. Maybe they're not sought after,
Yeah,
but
they
they're elusive. I haven't found them. They don't do a lot of them, but online I was reading about a 10 and 11 year old single barrel that they drunk. So you know that source.
it has been
Yeah.
open long enough. What
'Cause
was it?
they
2017.
started barreling in 2017, so you know that's sourced. If it's
All right,
Kentucky, it's
I'm
gonna be
going in for three.
do it.
So
I'm on my third too. So
okay, so we'll go
uh
in for three. I'll go ahead and start while he gathers onto it here.
yeah, so I thought it was good that but the mash bill is out there, they don't hide it. I like that too. I don't know about the 1776. The rest of it would be good.
All right, go ahead. I'll start that.
All right.
So it is interesting. I kind of agree with producer. It does not taste exactly how it smells. I'm still on the sweet side. Uh, it starts out sweet. I'm still getting that honey note, a little bit of butterscotch, some cinnamon. Uh, so it's kind of reminding me of. It's almost like an elephant ear to start. Like you get that sweetness and cinnamony and honeyness, and then you go and a little deeper once it sits on your palate a little longer. The spicy notes start coming out. You get a little bit of pepper. You get a little bit of. It's almost like red pepper flake, like feeling and sensation that I get on my tongue from it. Which is I'm a fan of red pepper flakes. So that's a W in my book. And then the oakiness comes in at the very back of the palate, like after it's coming through a lot now. Everything else is kind of died off.
We're gonna be similar on our tastings here because I'll start at the back. I didn't get any water to add. I forgot that. I don't know why I didn't, but uh, the oakiness on the finish, the oakiness comes through with I get the dry oak on the back of my throat, a little bit of dryness there. But when I taste it, you were saying cinnamon. I get like a cinnamon toast,
No,
so
you're still not allowed to use that word.
kind of a buttery, cinnamon toast kind of thing. That's what I taste the most. You said elephant ear, so I can see where you're coming up with elephant ear. Uh, but I get cinnamon toast more on it. But then, like midway through, you do get that peppery flake that you're talking about. So the 106, it's not a stingy hot, but you do have a peppery flavor in there as well. It's pretty good. It's not as sweet. Doesn't jump out at me like I thought it was going to.
I put a little bit too much water in mine.
Yeah,
I was
for a little
giggling.
bit, I probably the barrel was dry. Yeah. Do you have anything that we didn't say? You got a lot of honey. I didn't get honey.
I got honey on the nose
And you got butterscotch. I wasn't feeling the butterscotch, but the cinnamon and the elephant ear kind of. I'd seen where you was coming with
I
that.
didn't get any of the fruitiness in the palate.
No, no, I didn't get
Fruitiness
any.
was
And
gone
that
after the
was
nose.
that was definitely in the nose for me, and it was gone.
So the smell didn't change much for me. It mellowed it out even more. It's kind of hard to pull anything out. I think I put a little bit too much water in mine.
Well, I'm with you, and I didn't. So
Uh, that's very appley though. The fruit comes through a lot more forward with water in it. That's almost like a Granny Smith. It's like a tart kind of sweetness. I like, it. But
I
I don't
mean,
think it
I smell
changed too
caramel
much.
now with the water, and that's what I get. so maybe like a caramel apple.
Maybe I'm mistaken caramel for honey.
I don't know.
I don't either. Maybe a caramel apple. 'Cause there ain't no better caramel apple in the world than a Granny Smith caramel
Mhm.
apple. You get the tartness and the sweetness and saltiness from the caramel. Oh, chef's kiss. You ready?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, you'll be surprised because we're talking salty and everything else. I get like a salted caramel with that. Yeah, it's very so the water made it kind of salty caramel with maybe a Tabasco finish
it's
and
incredible.
then some dry oak. It was I liked it better with the water.
It's hilarious that you said that because as soon as you said salty, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this tastes like salted caramel." And then you
Hmm.
said caramel, I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes."
So I really enjoyed it both ways. It doesn't need ice or water to drink it smooth, but the water I would probably put ice or water in it because the flavor I thought was better. It gave me more of a distinct flavor.
It tastes like raw wood now, like sawdust.
You get your wood in the back. Yeah, I
It's
got a
not
dry
it's not
oaky finish.
charred wood though. It's like I'm in the lumber section at Home Depot.
Yep, I got a charred oaky finish. So
It's not charred though. It's just raw wood. I think they cut a toothpick
you
off and
just
stuck it in the bottle.
go by licking 2 by 4s.
Yeah. Well, you know how when you smell something, like even when you're doing bourbon, where you can smell it and it goes down on your palate, and you can taste it.
Uh-huh.
That's what I do when I go into Home Depot.
I like the salted caramel taste on that. It was it. I want to.
But you
I
also
don't
cook
want to
with a lot
say
too.
it wasn't savory, uh, but it wasn't as sweet. And I did enjoy that because I thought with that first smell I was going to get a real sweet bourbon.
I would not describe this bourbon as savory, with or
Mhm.
without the water.
But not sweet either. It wasn't overwhelmingly sweet. I didn't have
On
it
the
was just a very
margin,
subtle.
it kind of came in waves.
I just thought it was a little subtle sweetness. I thought it was very good. Uh,
I thought it came in waves. It started out really sweet for me, with and without the water, and then it kind of went into your spices, and then your oakiness on the back end of it.
I've said this many times. There's a lot of bourbons that when I drink it, I said, "Oh, it's so sweet. This is dessert. I would have this after dinner. It would be good
That's
dessert."
E.H. Taylor.
This one right here, I would enjoy this with dinner. I could eat pretty much anything. A hamburger with
This
this. I could eat a steak with
I was
this.
about to say steak, potato, and salad is what I'd be thinking of
And
eating.
then just have a nice bourbon with it and sip on that during my meal.
I think this would
I think
be,
that would be fantastic.
for those of you who don't know and may be tuning in, I have expanded my um, collection type stuff into cigars as well because I do enjoy smoking a nice cigar with some. I think it would go really well with this.
If
I don't know which one.
I can see that.
I
I
don't
don't.
know which one would go well. That would have to be an experiment in itself. But I
Yeah,
think that this would be a cigar smoking.
I can see that, man. I think this is a real good bourbon to enjoy with a meal or a cigar or just alone. I mean, it's good, but it's not one of those after dinner bourbons just to sit down and have like a sweet drink.
It's
This is
not
more of
gonna.
a
You're gonna get the sweetness, but it's not gonna be all sweetness like we've said. A
that's
lot of
right.
the other ones are. Like
That's right.
I think E.H. Taylor Small Batch is one that comes to mind more than anything, where it's a treat. Like
I
it's
enjoyed it.
sweet tooth.
Do you want to talk about it first and wrap it up, or do you want me to?
I think you are.
Well,
I
I'm
think we
gonna.
have talked about it quite a bit, but we're
I do
actually gonna
too.
rank it
I'm
now.
just gonna go a little bit more.
We're looking
So
good on time though.
I don't think this is very beginner because it's hot, because it doesn't offer sweetness. And if somebody's getting into bourbon, I
It's a
think
little more enticing and
I
it's
think
sweet.
I think they want that
Fair enough.
those different sweeter flavors. So this one here you get the wood, you get the dry feeling in your throat, you get the spiciness.
See, I don't
Uh,
get the dry.
well, you don't get dry a lot. I do. I get dry a lot, and you
I'm
don't
just
get it.
well hydrated, I guess.
Well, but I enjoy it for all of that. Like I said, I think it's good with the meal. Uh, I'm gonna give it a 7-7.
Wow,
I enjoyed it a lot.
I thought it was good. Do you have ranking that you'd like to throw in just off the top of your head? 7-2.
7-2.
So we got 2/7. All right. So beginner friendly. I'm also in the same boat as him. I don't think that it's quite beginner friendly, and like you said, not because of the price, because it's about a medium range price, about the same as Woodford or all most of your other small batches and stuff, from a medium grade. And I don't think it's too hot at 106 proof, and I don't even think it drank like 106 proof. I
No,
thought I thought it drank more like a 95. It was not hot at all. Uh, but I do agree with him in saying that newer people, if you're getting into bourbon, you're probably going to be more enticed by the sweetness of it, and it will draw you to come back. This is going to be like a mid grade, just because if you want to expand your palate away from the sweetness and stuff, and start getting more of the spices and everything with and without the water. I got almost the same thing on this one, so I think this is going to be your medium grade bourbon.
I agree.
It's a very good drink though. Like I said, I enjoyed it with and without the water. It didn't change a whole lot for me. It changed a couple notes, but nothing crazy. Um, Overall, I'd rate it. Uh, I'm 7 even.
Seven even.
7 even. So we're all in the 7 range.
In the 7. Did you go 7? Because I went 7, 7, and usually you're higher ranker than me.
No, I think that a 7 was a good rank.
I
And
like
I
it.
like the even numbers, even though you started the stupid decimal point in episode 3, and it's been here ever since.
That's how I roll.
Don't ask us to do the averages and stuff. I'm not good at math. I don't care to be good at math.
Decimals. I like the decimals, but this one to me, the 7 7 is a pretty high score for me.
I was
Uh,
surprised by it.
I enjoy it
You
because,
like to stick to like the low 7s, high 6s. Most of
well, I like the barrels, right? I like to be able to taste that barrel. This one here, the barrel is subtle. The dryness is there though, but it doesn't overwhelm you with that sweetness, and that's a pretty good bourbon to
One
me.
thing I will say about this that I noticed that I don't with some other bourbons is after your rest of your palate goes away, like after you go through the waves and then you hit the oak and stuff, that's like all you taste, and it sticks around for a little bit. I'm even still tasting it a little bit just in the back of my throat.
You're tasting the oak.
The oak.
See, I'm not. I'm tasting that caramel, that salted caramel. Still got that. I'm tasting a little bit of those red pepper flake spiciness, but real dull. I mean, it's not like it's burning my tongue or nothing. It's real dull. But I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm liking it so much. I love cinnamon toast, and that's what I get out of this.
Cinnamon toast. You need to start getting that cereal, cinnamon toast crunch.
Well, cinnamon toast without the water, with the water, I get the salted caramel.
Dude,
Uh,
don't even gross. That gave me soggy bread thought in my mind. Cinnamon toast with water and stuff. You just ew, that made me cringe a little
can't have no
bit.
soggy bread.
Ugh, I can't do soggy bread, guys.
I had White Castle for lunch today.
I told you, White Castle's not bad if you eat it immediately.
Well, I did. But
It doesn't
it's
get
still
that
got
soggy.
some soft bread though.
Anyway.
All right, let's wrap this up.
All right, guys. Well, hopefully, sorry for the little mishap we had there in the middle. I'm not really sure what happened. It disconnected for probably about 15, 20 seconds, I think. And
Wi-Fi,
just random. And we have great Wi Fi. I don't know what the deal is with that.
Spectrum, Spectrum Wi-Fi.
We've got awesome Wi-Fi, so there's no complaints there. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was our computer that just said, "Hey, there's a lot more going on now," and I just had to cut out for a second. We'll be back.
Get on it, Spectrum. Fix our Wi-Fi. Make it right.
Put a cork in it. Look, Chase, you're never gonna live it down, chickens. Put a cork in it. Weller 12 does not use screw top. Lord of mercy. Does everyone agree with that? We say that all the time. I think everyone should agree. Weller 12 needs a freaking cork in it.
The regular Weller needs. I thought it was incredible for the other day.
Now we finally off topic
We'll
before we
do a
close it
show on
out.
it. We'll do a show on
We had like 4 bottles of Special Reserve, and we finally opened one, and it was actually wasn't surprised. So
it.
we'll
I
do an
really enjoyed
episode
it.
on that. All that being said, guys, we hope that everything went over as smoothly as possible. Hopefully, the quality was good, and we appreciate you all tuning in, giving us a little bit of time out of your day on your Friday evening. We love kicking the weekend off with you guys, and hopefully, you enjoy it as much as we do. Um, we are always trying to improve the quality, so if you have any suggestions that we could change, we're always open to suggestions. If you have any bourbons that you'd like to see, it has to be a Kentucky bourbon to be featured on the show. If you have any bourbons or whiskeys that you'd like to try off camera just because it's your favorite, we'll take those suggestions as well. But all that being said, guys, you good?
I'm good.
Oh, hold on. Great show. Enjoy the weekend. You as well, Corey. We
Awesome,
appreciate you
Corey.
as
Thank
always
you.
tuning in. All that being said, guys, once again, we appreciate you all. And as always, why drink alone?
And you can drink with us.
We'll see y'all next Friday.
About a hug
Happy
today.
weekend. No.
For warm Kentucky hug, I guess. Cheers.